Thrift stores are full of treasures and lots of trash. The key is to know what to look for and to see potential in items that others overlook. So, in today's video, I want to share what I think are some of the best items to thrift for upcycling and repurposing projects. I'll explain why these items are so great for creating unique decor. And I'll show you how I upcycled 7 of these thrift store finds to create stylish decor for my own home. So let's get started.
Small wood containers are perfect for upcycling projects because they're versatile, sturdy, and easy to customize. To make this wall basket a little more special, I'm going to add a battery-operated clock. I removed the glass, the hands, and the battery box. I cut off the plastic tabs on the back so that it would sit flush against the wood. I used an angle grinder with a cutting blade, but you could just use a sharp, sturdy utility knife. My plan was to attach the battery pack on the back of the wood and drill a hole for the center shaft of the battery pack so I could attach the clock hands on the front. However, the wood was so thick that the clock shaft did not stick far enough through the hole. So this clock is just going to be decorative. I printed out a vintage-looking clock face on a piece of cardstock. I used an AI editing tool in Canva to remove the clock hands from the image. Then I adhered it over the existing clock face using Elmer's spray adhesive. I decided to paint the wood black to contribute to the vintage look. Chalk paint works great on all kinds of wood, and once it's dry, it's easy to distress the edges with sandpaper if you like that look. I hot glued the clock face to the wood and then hot glued the clock hands in the center to make it look like a working clock. The plastic gold rim looked cheap, so I brushed on some gold rub and buff to make it look a little more like real metal. Then I decided to paint the plastic rim with the same black chalk paint I used on the wood. The black color just makes it disappear. To seal the chalk paint on the wood, I brushed on antiquing wax, which also adds some dimension to the black paint. I'm always amazed at how much character paint, and in this case, a paper clock face, can add to inexpensive wood decor from the thrift store. Here's another wood item I thrifted. It's a cute cabinet, but it's not really my style, and the shelves aren't large enough to hold anything but a few tiny items. So I want to see if I can make it more of a vintage-looking statement piece. First, I removed the magnetic door clasp, and then I removed the door. The shelves were only held in place with 2 brad nails on each side, so I hammered them loose. But they were such a tight fit, I had to cut them in half to get them out through the opening. Then I used some needle nose pliers to twist and pull out the brad nails from the side panels. Because this was a cheaply constructed cabinet, there were a lot of gaps between the wood pieces that I filled with caulk. I let the caulk dry for an hour or so, and then I painted the cabinet with a light brown chalk paint. I painted everything but the inside back panel, which I planned on covering with some scrap wallpaper. To create a layered, aged over time look to the wood, I first brushed on a coat of white wax, lightly wiping away the excess. I let the wax dry for a few hours, and then I applied a layer of antiquing wax over the white wax, again just lightly wiping away the excess. To cover the inside, I used a piece of William Morris peel and stick wallpaper left over from a recent bedroom makeover. I cut it slightly larger than I needed and then used a utility knife to cut off the excess along the four edges. After letting the wax dry overnight, I brushed on a third layer of wax, this time using black, which really gave it a nice vintage appearance. Because I may want to hang this on the wall, I attached D-rings on the back corners. I could have added one shelf across the middle, but I really like having an open space to create a display with at least one taller item. Books are so versatile. In fact, I've done an entire video on ideas for upcycling books. For this project, I chose 5 books in colors to coordinate with this painting of a young girl reading. I removed the background in the Canva app and printed it out on a piece of cardstock to fit the width of the 5 books combined. Before attaching the picture, I wanted to remove the titles from the book spines. I found that Goof Off does a good job at this, although this time it also removed some of the book color as well, which I didn't really mind because I thought it just made the books look older. I wrapped a rubber band around the books to hold them tightly together. Then to adhere the image, I applied a good amount of Mod Podge to the book spines and to the back of the cardstock. Then I lined up the picture with the bottom edge of the book spines and pressed it in place. I rolled over it with a brayer to make sure that I got good adhesion. Once the Mod Podge was fully dry, I lined up a metal ruler with the edge of the book spines and used a sharp utility knife to cut a straight line through the paper. When I pulled the books apart, there was maybe 1/8 of an inch of paper that protruded beyond the book spines on either side. I could have cut or sanded this off, but I thought the image would look best if I glued those edges down, pressing them over the sides of the books. You have to work the paper with your fingers so that it conforms to the book spine. Storage containers are excellent items to thrift for upcycling projects because they are both functional and easy to transform. I chose a jewelry box because for $3.99, I couldn't pass up this vintage beauty. I love giving these old boxes some color with paint. So I first removed the tiny hardware. Some of them were screwed in and some were just glued in. I gave the wood a good wipe down with some liquid sandpaper. I'll clean the inside of the box later. I brushed on 2 separate coats of moss green chalk paint. I really enjoy painting small decor items like this. Just use a small brush to get into tight spaces. Once the paint was dry, I began cutting up an old calendar illustration into small pieces to cover the front of each of the drawers. Brush Mod Podge on the drawer front and on the back of your decorative paper and press it into place. Use your fingers or a brayer to smooth out the paper and to make sure that it's firmly adhered. I also used my fingers to create creases in the paper along the outside edges. Once the Mod Podge is fully dry, you can come back with a small piece of sandpaper along those crease lines so you can remove all the excess paper. Due to the wood detail on the drawer fronts, it was impossible to keep the sandpaper from distressing the surrounding areas. I could have easily repainted those spots, but I just embraced it and distressed the edges on the rest of the box too. Next, I applied a coat of Mod Podge over the top of the paper to seal it. Make sure to go over the sanded edges too. This will help to keep the paper from coming loose. Once the Mod Podge was dry, I reattached the knobs and handles. You could go over them with Rub and Buff if you want to change their color. Finally, I applied a coat of clear wax to seal and protect the chalk paint. Like books, I've also done an entire video on upcycling picture frames because they're so versatile and easy to customize. I'm especially fond of the large frames with words that were so popular in the farmhouse style. If possible, lightly sand off the wording so that it's easier to paint over. You could also spray the frame with a good primer before painting. I'm not going to change the color of this frame. I'm just going to give it a fresh coat of off-white chalk paint. I'm also going to paint these plastic butterflies. Even though they're already white, I want them to match the frame perfectly. And luckily, chalk paint adheres well to plastic without needing a primer. For the artwork, I found this botanical image in the public domain. And once again, I used an AI editor in Canva to remove some words and swirly lines from the image. After I put the picture in the inner frame, I noticed the gap between the frames. So I grabbed my caulk gun and filled it in. Once the caulk was dry, I painted over it. I wanted to attach the butterflies to the large frame, and just like with the clock face, I used my angle grinder to cut off the plastic tabs on the back. This would allow me to apply adhesive to a much larger flat area on the back of each butterfly to create a stronger bond with the frame. I let the Gorilla Glue dry for a couple of hours, and then I brushed clear wax over the frame and the butterflies to seal and protect the chalk paint. If you've watched my channel for any length of time, you know that I love to repurpose clocks. They have so much decorative potential and come in a wide variety of shapes and styles. You've already seen me repurpose a clock face. Now I'm going to repurpose the clock body. I'll save the clock mechanism for a future project. For some reason, I don't like the fleur-de-lis design. It looks very 1990s to me. So I'm going to paint over all of the white areas with a coat of black chalk paint. I think this gives it a much richer look. Once the paint was dry, I sealed it with a coat of clear wax. In place of the clock face, I'm going to add a small bird's nest. This one came with 2 eggs attached that are way too big for such a tiny nest, so I pulled them out. Before adding the nest, I hot glued a few fern leaves into the bottom of the hole and then hot glued the nest on top of the leaves. And I filled in around the nest with some fluffy moss. I added a couple eggs back to the nest, but using some that were more appropriately sized. I added some tiny greenery stems, pushing them behind the nest, and finally added a small bird to the edge of the nest. Vases are another thrift store item that come in a wide variety of shapes, sizes, and materials, and are easy to decorate. This galvanized steel vase has a really unique shape, but its industrial look just doesn't go with my home decor. So I'm going to paint it. I added a scoop of salt wash to some off-white chalk paint and stirred it up. The salt wash will add some texture to this otherwise very smooth surface. I gave it 2 coats. Then, when the paint was dry, I cut out several small designs from IOD's Delft Traditions paint inlay package. I brushed plain chalk paint onto a small area of the vase, spritzed the cutout inlay with water, and pressed it face down into the wet paint. I used my fingers to smooth out any wrinkles. Then I repeated this process until all sides of the vase were covered in paint inlay designs. Make sure the inlays are completely dry before trying to remove them. Lightly spray them with water and then peel off the paper. This creates a unique painted design. To add some additional color, I decided to paint around the vase opening with brown chalk paint to coordinate with the inlay designs. Once the brown paint was dry, I lightly sanded over it to give it a distressed look. I also lightly sanded over the body of the vase to further distress the designs and to smooth out some of the rougher texture. To seal the paint, I brushed white wax over the vase and lightly dabbed away the excess. I used white wax rather than clear wax because it added a touch of yellow to the paint color, contributing to its aged appearance. Thanks so much for watching today, and please leave a comment if you'd like to see another video on the best items to thrift for upcycling and repurposing projects.